Here's your news for June 16, 2020. And your headlines today include: Vince McMahon changed a match finish hours before WWE Backlash. What happened after WWE Raw went off the air? Breaking news regarding an NXT superstar. WWE allegedly threatened superstars if they refused Saudi Arabia events. Former King of the Ring winner rejects offer from WWE, and more. We're kicking off today with news from WWE Backlash, as Asuka retained her Raw Women's Championship against Nia Jax due to a double countout. It's now being reported that this match should have ended a much different way, as Brian Alvarez of F4W Online via WrestlingNews.co noted that Vince McMahon himself changed the finish mere hours before the show. He said, "The impression that I've been given, I believe the original finish was Asuka was gonna pin Nia and, for whatever reason, I guess on the day of the show, to do a double countout instead." Given that the match ended in a double countout, it seems likely that the company is building to a rematch between the Empress and the Irresistible Force down the line, possibly at next month's Extreme Rules pay-per-view. Speaking of WWE Backlash, it was just as the show was starting that reports came out of Edge suffering a torn tricep when taping the match with Randy Orton the week prior. Now, WWE has confirmed the rumors of Edge getting hurt, as they also revealed WWE Digital has confirmed that Edge suffered a torn triceps as a result of injuries sustained during the greatest wrestling match ever. Edge has undergone successful surgery and is currently rehabbing at home. An injury like this means Edge could be out between 4 to 8 months, and considering everything he's been able to do since his return, the timing of his injury couldn't be worse. With that in mind though, it sounds like there's already plans for him to be back, so fans will have to wait and see what kind of Edge we get when he returns down the line. Though Edge won't be competing anytime soon, one person who did return to the ring on Raw is Christian, who fought Orton in an unsanctioned match to close the show. After being immediately low-blowed by Ric Flair, Captain Charisma was easy prey for the Viper, who punted and pinned the Canadian, and instructed medics to take Christian away to close out the show. Off-air, it turns out Orton returned to the scene of destruction and told Christian to get cleared and come back for a rematch like Edge, and ended the off-air segment with an evil smile as medics took the fallen former world champion backstage. If Christian does indeed follow Orton's advice, it looks like Captain Charisma will be getting his one more match after all, and will serve as a replacement for the injured Edge in the coming months. Speaking of Backlash, Nia Jax and Asuka's Raw Women's title match ended in a double countout, but the two were allowed to once again clash on this week's edition of the Red Brand. After a competitive match, Jax decided to put her hands on the referee, who threatened to disqualify her, which gave Asuka the advantage and rolled up Nia for a fast count pin. To remove any doubt about whether the fast count was intentional, Tom Phillips pointed it out, as it seems Nia being unable to win the title in new and interesting ways, but not losing cleanly, is becoming the storyline. Time will tell whether this leads to Jax actually regaining the title she last held in 2018, but for now, fans can expect to see Nia be pretty unhappy about failing to win the gold because of the ref. Speaking of Raw, this week's show had a real crowd in this week, as real fans received invitations from WWE to attend the latest tapings. Now, more details have emerged on how this happened, as the WWE had the crowd sign waivers before they entered the Performance Center, and one waiver said the company wasn't liable if fans got sick while in the building. The form also informed fans of the risks they were taking, and those lucky enough to get to go also received medical checks in the form of surveys, and their temperature was taken. This week's crowd was a mix of actual fans and NXT superstars, and almost had their poop-smearing fanatic Armando Montalvo after Lacey Evans and Dana Brooke came out to invite him inside. It's not clear if Evans or Brooke knew of Montalvo's past, but police reminded him that if he enters WWE property, he'll be arrested, which didn't sit too well with the poop smearer. Hopefully, the act of having actual fans back will mean that we get back to normalcy soon, and we're confident that WWE won't want Montalvo hanging around their live events and tapings any longer. Now, it's clear that the WWE is trying to continue as normal despite the ongoing global situation, but this week, a positive test was confirmed on the NXT roster. The name of the individual who tested positive wasn't mentioned in a statement, but WWE have confirmed that the test was discovered on June 9th and nobody else has shown symptoms. Their statement added that all staff on site, including talent, the production crew, and employees on site will be tested as part of the company's plan to proceed with its normal TV production schedule. Whilst the company had hoped to proceed with its normal schedule, Ringside News is reporting that today's tapings have now been postponed until Wednesday, as the company is instead spending today testing everyone in the vicinity. That means that tomorrow we'll see next week's editions of Raw and SmackDown, whilst NXT's taping status for Wednesday is unknown, though it's hard to imagine they won't tape anything for the Gold brand. One source has described the environment backstage as pure chaos and confusion, and added, "No one really knows what's going on." Hopefully this will be the last positive test WWE finds, and if it is, it could really change a lot as the company continues to try to go back to how things once were, though of course, the health and well-being of everyone at the Performance Center comes first. We are focusing on WWE's relationship with Saudi Arabia next, as after last year's Crown Jewel, which saw superstars stuck an extra day, some superstars didn't want to go back, but weren't given a choice. During Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer spoke about the ongoing lawsuit between WWE's investors and the company, alleging that the company hid some very important facts about the relationship with the Saudis, and the new witnesses in the story could be a smoking gun. Speaking about one witness who is an unnamed superstar, WWE did everything they could to deny this story, including denying that wrestlers had spoken to journalists. According to the source, once WWE superstars got back from Saudi Arabia and said they didn't want to go back to talent relations, WWE allegedly abused their power and threatened the future trajectory of anyone who refused to go back to the Middle East. This is certainly a big deal, as whilst there'd been rumors of what happened, WWE dismissed any stories about issues in Saudi Arabia as conspiracy theories, but it now looks like the fans who believed these conspiracies were right all along. Now we all know that WWE likes using big names and have called back several big names in the past, but not everyone is eager to make a comeback. A few weeks ago, Darren Young confirmed that there were plans for the Nexus to appear at WrestleMania, though this didn't happen because of the changes made to the show, and whilst Young was keen on it, the Nexus's leader, Wade Barrett, wasn't a fan. Speaking to Wrestling Inc., the British brawler explained being offered a moment at Mania to celebrate 10 years of the Nexus, and he added, "I actually turned it down, as I didn't like the offer or the plan. I saw Darren just after that and he said he was going to go and do something with them, but I wasn't going to be involved in whatever it was. In all honesty, if it had been something more significant, I would have paid it more attention, but it was something to me that I wasn't interested in doing. There was no benefit at all for me in doing that, and I wasn't excited about it, so I turned the offer down." It would have been cool to see a full Nexus reunion, but that was never going to happen, as the show instead took place with as few people present as possible, with 0 live fans in attendance. That being said, at least Barrett had already told WWE no, so he avoided an unnecessary trip to Tampa for a segment that was never going to take place. We are looking ahead to next week's Raw, as 2 title matches have been confirmed for the 3-hour show. The Raw Tag Team titles will be on the line when the Street Profits defend against the Viking Raiders, whilst the Iconics will get another shot at the WWE Women's Tag Team titles, currently held by Bayley and Sasha Banks, though the champs will defend against NXT's Tegan Nox and Shotzi Blackheart this week. Rey Mysterio will also return to continue his angle with Seth Rollins, as fans will have plenty to tune in for on next week's show. From one return to another now, as fans haven't seen Bray Wyatt in quite some time, but that will all change this week. During Raw, it was confirmed that the former Universal Champion will return on this week's SmackDown, as Wyatt's been off TV for weeks, and during that time celebrated the birth of his daughter with JoJo. It's also been reported that WWE is planning on having The Fiend face Universal Champion Braun Strowman prior to SummerSlam, so it makes sense that he returns now to lead to another confrontation between the two, this time at next month's Extreme Rules. Also on SmackDown, fans will see a special Intercontinental title presentation for AJ Styles, and Mandy Rose appears as a guest on Miz TV, as the fallout from the huge Backlash pay-per-view continues to be felt. Back to Raw now, and though his client Bobby Lashley failed to capture the WWE Championship at Backlash, that hasn't stopped MVP from trying to recruit more superstars. On this week's Raw, US Champion Apollo Crews declined MVP's services, but went on to defeat Shelton Benjamin in non-title action, interestingly using the heel tactic of using the ropes for leverage. After it was reported of there being talks of Benjamin being added to MVP's clientele, WWE uploaded a digital exclusive that showed MVP promising the Gold Standard another match against Cruz, but this time for the Universal Championship. Though Paul Heyman has been replaced as Raw's executive director by Bruce Pritchard, reports are stating that the plans for MVP's stable and a Cruz heel turn are still in place, and it looks like these plans are getting closer to happening based on what happened on this week's edition of Monday Night Raw. And we're ending today with news from the Forgotten Sons, as the trio of recent NXT call-ups on SmackDown seems to have disappeared in recent weeks. Despite a decent focus after their post-WrestleMania arrival on the Blue brand, some controversial comments from Jackson Riker seem to have cost the group, including praise for President Trump, describing the Black Lives Matter movement as garbage, and a photo of himself with a fake dark complexion where he refers to himself as a soul man. With backstage heat in the SmackDown locker room, Fightful is reporting that the entire trio have lost their push due to this situation, though this wasn't always the case. The same report also noted that Superstars said that Riker was well-liked before his controversial comments came to light, but now his tag team partners have also distanced themselves from him. According to the report, Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler went into a meeting with Mark Carrano as well as other wrestlers, and it sounds like this meeting took place without Riker present. With no new video packages for the group and the fact that they weren't at the latest TV tapings, it seems that any program with the New Day is off the table. And whilst WWE could always come back around once the controversy calms down, the Forgotten Sons will remain forgotten for now.